Yes.
In Wakefield Township, one of our main concerns is jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And our friends in Ironwood Township are going to realize the Orvana mine. But to get to this mine, they have to go through Wakefield Township with their equipment and their trucks and things. What we need is help rebuilding County Road, North County Road 519,
Okay.
so that it's passable for these big trucks. Is there a possibility to get funding of some sort for that?
Sure. I mean, let's look at it. I can't say absolutely, but again, USDA, have you looked at rural development funding? We'll be happy to work with you on that.
County Road Commission has been working on it for one part of it.
Because there's both, first of all, there's loans and grants through USDA rural development. Secondly, we're going to be rewriting the transportation bill.
Okay.
The highway bill, as they call it, the transportation bill that's written every 5 years. That's going to be rewritten next year. And so, that's a possibility. We're able to get usually a handful of important, community projects in there. So, or get it on a list, for one of the priorities or something. Okay. So that's something. Now, I don't know if the state, has the Road Commission been working, asking the state transportation commission?
I think they have been turned down the first time that they asked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we need to work with you on that.
Okay,
Let's work, Steve and King can follow up. Steve's right over here. We'll follow up with you, and let's look at all the options.
Okay.
See. Sure. Yes.
Well, first and foremost, I do want to thank your office for all the assistance that we've received in this past few months with EAS. Without, I believe, truly, without your assistance, the DOT may have taken a less objective look at this. Secondly, back to the EAS program, it is not a very well-known program among the general public because most people don't really hear a whole lot about it. But the EAS system is very critical for communities like Ironwood and several across this country to provide essential air service to them. And as the dynamics of the airline industry changes,
right,
and the cost seems to continue to escalate, I know talking with the DOT on several occasions, they continually get back to the bottom line. How much is this going to cost? And we only have so much money. And at the current rate, it's only a few more years before the expense of the essential air service exceeds its ability to support communities. And my concern is that being that it's not a very well publicized program, it doesn't seem to always get the spotlight that it should. And how are we going to look at this in the future, because airplanes and fuel and air service is getting more and more expensive.
It is getting more and more expensive, but there are many communities, many states that have communities like ours in Michigan that care very much. And the Essential Service is a program to help subsidize small airports, and there are many communities. In fact, there's more rural communities than big cities, and so there's a lot of interest on the part of members to keep that going. And every year, when the transportation funding comes up, we all push together to make sure that there's something there. But you're right, fuel costs and just the competition, the consolidation of the industries. One of the things I worry about is as we see the companies feeling like they need to consolidate and get bigger and so on, and we lose service in areas as a result of that. So it's something that we just have to keep doing our best to push on. And also, again, energy costs become a big issue with that again, so, which is another thing. Although part of that, they get involved in trying to buy fuel, and it gets all caught up. Fuel costs were going up as the Wall Street recklessness and leveraging was going up there for a while as well. And now that we've passed Wall Street reform and put better rules around that, hopefully that's not going to be so volatile for airlines, because they were seeing their costs for a while just go up. But it's a problem for us. It's a problem, and we're just going to have to keep pushing to make make people aware of the fact that it's critically important for jobs, for people who want to have the wonderful quality of life of, living in Ironwood, living in the western UP, and want to still be able to, need to get on a plane and go downstate or go, go across, maybe to a Packers game or something, and, go across and,
Lions.
go Lions. I thought over here everything was Packers, no? You're so,
No,
I
Lions.
thought the big game was coming up here this weekend, right? The big game coming up? Yeah. So, yeah, the big game's coming up, so, I know, oh, right, well, they at least won one, right? So we're on the way, we're on the way, so.
First one.
That's right. But we, it's a continual fight, but there's a lot of people that care about it, that's all I can say. Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'd just like to thank you for the help on community action, as
Oh.
far as our weatherization programs, nutrition programs. There's a lot of work and
Yeah.
created more jobs,
Great.
and helped a lot of people.
Good. Thank you. That's part of the Recovery Act
Part of the
again,
Recovery
people
Act,
don't know
right.
about. The important part of the Recovery Act was helping folks who got caught in this economic tsunami and lost their job. People who never before in their lives thought they'd need help, ever. And need to come into the Community Action Agency and get help. Another thing I forgot to mention, and I should have started out with this with all the students in the room. One of the changes that we've made on student financial aid has freed up more dollars without costing more for Pell Grants and for student loans. Money's tight. We have to look at how do we do things, how do we get more out of every dollar, because money's tight. And we have in the past, we had two ways that we provided student loans. One was a direct student loan through the Department of Education. You go and you sign up directly with them. The other was through the banks who received a fee. So the banks were subsidized and then gave the loan. Well, when we looked at it, we could save $8 billion a year by moving it all over to direct student loans. And so we did that. And so we have added more Pell Grants this fall. There are more people going to school here as a result of more Pell Grants being available, more student loans, better interest rates, loan forgiveness programs, and so on. And we also have, under the healthcare reform, I should mention for any nursing or healthcare students, that we've got a whole provision on loan forgiveness and other areas related to school for medical professionals, healthcare professionals, nursing, and so on. So that's something that hopefully folks will look at. Yes?